Hey, John Sabo here in the capital city, Hanoi, Vietnam. In this video, two places, in my opinion, that I think you should spend the most time to get the best experience while you're visiting here. Plus, I got one bonus new thing that you can do while you're here. Video starts right now.
Hanoi is one of the most interesting cities in Southeast Asia. It's the cultural capital of Vietnam, bursting with things to see and do. In this video, I'd like to show you that if you really want to get underneath the fabric of this city, you must focus first on these two places, Hoan Kiem Lake and the Old Quarter of Hanoi. Let's linger on the streets and around the lake to discover how much soul this place really has. I'm John Sabo, and these are my Far East travels. The two places in Hanoi we'll focus on in this video are Hoan Kiem Lake and the Old Quarter, that both fall within Hoan Kiem District. Hoan Kiem Lake is the best place to start your Hanoi experience. It's the emblematic symbol of the city. Around the lake is where I personally spend a lot of time. It takes anywhere from 20 to 25 minutes to complete a loop, and it's usually the first thing I do after I check into my hotel. You won't regret spending your time in places like the Loading Tea Cafe. Located inside a 1930s architectural gem only a few minutes from the lake. Once a family home, it now houses several businesses, including this atmospheric cafe that allows you to sink into a chair and take in the subtleties of the city. The smell of coffee permeates the antique room, and they tell me the egg coffee is great here. It's the grand opening of another Uniqlo, which reminds me I need to buy some more black t-shirts to add to my immense black t-shirt stash. Nice Vietnamese touches to this event, too. Back down around the lake, it's the weekend, so all streets here are closed off to traffic, making for an idyllic setting unique to Southeast Asia. Quiet streets in the heart of an ancient city on the weekend, a pure genius move, and a perfect spot to get those photos in your new áo dài. The bright colors of the Vietnamese lady's traditional dress are like splashes of flowers against the emerald green Hoan Kiem Lake. It's pure magic. This is what I mean. I guess after living in several cities in East Asia and Southeast Asia over the past 10 years, it's probably why I appreciate Hanoi on the weekends so much.
So I especially enjoy walking around Hoan Kiem Lake in Hanoi here on the weekends because they do close off all of the traffic on the streets that surround the lake. So it's really pleasant. You feel like almost you can take a breath, you know, and relax because you don't have that thumping and bumping of the traffic, chaotic traffic around you. So it's a really good breather, I think, for everybody here, especially the people that live here. And this weekend, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of people trying to catch foreigners to practice English. I guess we're not in season right now, I suppose. I had somebody ask me yesterday why I don't speak Vietnamese or know more Vietnamese because I've been here for a few years. And I said to them, you know, every time I try to speak Vietnamese, you guys laugh at me. So it's a little more difficult to get over that hump. Need a little more encouragement. But I do applaud people here, especially these young students in Hanoi, for continually trying to improve their English. It's really great, and we should all help them out whenever we're around here.
As these centers of commerce continue to prosper and their economies grow, many places have become congested with traffic 7 days a week and are exhausting and sometimes dangerous to explore on foot due to the wild ways of driving. This is the perfect place to be on the weekend in Hanoi. Time for another stop at a cafe, this time outdoors, taking in the weekend pace and slowing down like everyone else. Okay, let's not lose our sense of reality. This still is one of the liveliest cities in Southeast Asia, and even without the traffic, they cut loose when the sun drops. I feel like something to eat, and one of my favorite snacks or street foods to have when I'm in Hanoi are West Lake shrimp cakes, or bantom tejo. Believed to originate from the Spanish dish tortilla de camarones, probably adapted with local flavors, while the Spanish and the French occupied major cities in Vietnam between 1858 and 1862. The Vietnamese version is made with sweet potatoes, rice flour, and wrapped with lettuce and herbs and dipped in a sauce that includes vinegar, sugar, and fish sauce, among other ingredients. It's cheap and delicious, and I've been enjoying it at this joint for 7 years now. In my opinion, you could stay in the Old Quarter during your whole time in Hanoi and be completely satisfied with your visit. Everything you need to satiate a cultural and culinary experience is right here. The Old Quarter once had 36 streets that sold specific items on each one. Those streets basically remain, but not all sell those same products they once did. For example, let's start with Hang Buom, Street of Sail. Buom means sail in Vietnamese, and this street once sold sails for boats. Today it's filled with confectionery shops selling all kinds of sweets and snacks. Personally, I've never bought anything here, but it's still interesting to visit whether you do or you don't, and it's an obvious feast for the eyes. Hung Chiu is the street of mats close to the Dong Xuan market. Today, mats are still available here, along with a mix of stationery items and bags. Hung Dao was called Silk Street during the French occupation, and with the namesake silk, it also sold other commodities. Today, it's a mix of fashion, jewelry, and watch stores, and is one of the busiest streets in the Old Quarter. Finally, the most colorful street of the Old Quarter has to be Hang Ma. Stores feature toys, holiday decorations, and paper goods, particularly the paper votives that Vietnamese offer to ancestors by burning them. usually on the front steps of their home. I'm here before Christmas, so many of the shops are decked out with elaborate festive scenes and decorations that draw crowds, especially in the evening. Shops at this time of year will begin to sell items for Tet as well, or the Lunar New Year. The Mid-Autumn Festival and Halloween are also great times to visit Hanoi.
So I've been here about 24 hours now, and this city is bumping and thumping all the time. It's a busy, hectic city. There's just a lot of stuff coming at you all the time, and unless you kind of slow down, it's really hard to feel the depth of this place, the soul of Hanoi. But if you really try to take your time and try not to pack in too many activities, just a few things, but do them really well, I think your experience will be much more, I guess, fulfilling, and you really will feel the depth of this place and the soul, like I said, of Hanoi.
Loud and crowded, a typical weekend night in the Old Quarter. It doesn't take long to notice that Vietnamese like their nightlife on the highest volume possible. Beer Street is like this on any given night, but guaranteed at its most crowded on the weekends. In this environment, the weekend night market is your solace from the pounding groove. A visit to the Old Quarter wouldn't be complete without a spin or two around the Don Xuan Wholesale Market. This spot might be one of the most vlogged places in Hanoi. Unfortunately, they don't open for service until 11 a.m. But it's worth a trip back for those ubiquitous shrimp cakes. Unlike many markets in tourist areas in Vietnam, this traditional market next to the Don Xuan Market is frequented by locals and sells a number of traditional foods. Make sure you know your prices for many things sold here and be prepared to bargain. Always ask the price first. I'm off to find a vegetarian version of one of the most famous dishes of Vietnam, pho. In an alley near the train station sits a little stand that serves pho chay every morning for breakfast.
So I'm just a few steps from the Hanoi train station here, the main train station. This little back alley. This is a real treat for me, actually. Being able to have something that's vegan or vegetarian, just in kind of, the regular setting that anybody else with eating a regular pho in. And there's a few of these places around Hanoi. They're really easy to find. And I'm just really enjoying this. This is pho chay. So if you ever want something vegetarian, just pretty much tag chay on the back end, and you'll probably know what you mean. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. This lady came up to me. Clearly, she was she might have been like a monk, and she was, I think, giving me some. It seemed like nice advice in Vietnamese about being Buddhist or being unshacked. So.
It's places like these that give you some context of the Old Quarter and the layers of various eras that permeate this section of Hanoi. old school cafe with original tastes like this pineapple cake in a utility space that is full of atmosphere and warmth. Something that us outsiders or foreigners are accused of in Vietnam, and rightly so, is the trap of only showing the places we want to see because they offer something very different to what our eyes are used to. But it doesn't necessarily give a full view of Vietnam today, which includes places that can be found almost anywhere else in the world. Like all countries that have emerging economies, Vietnam just wants to be like everyone else. They want good infrastructure, modern conveniences, and the big shopping malls with mega wine shops, supermarkets, and international flagship stores where they can go, relax, and buy everything everyone else wants. Hanoi Westlake now boasts the largest shopping mall in Vietnam, and I'm here to visit its aquarium, the largest one in the city. Lotte World Aquarium Hanoi is located on the first and second basement floors with a total of 9,000 square meters of space. Colossal tanks filled with 3,400 tons of water and featuring 31,000 sea creatures that make up 400 species on display. Everyone wants a big aquarium too.
I have been so blessed by wonderful weather on my visits to Hanoi this year. It's Sunday morning around Hoan Kiem Lake. It's busy. It just feels really nice. People are relaxed, in a good mood. And it just makes this city so special, and it's one of my favorites all time in Southeast Asia. So I hope you get to visit here one day soon. Again, if you liked the video, thumbs up, please. There's more videos from Vietnam, East Asia, Southeast Asia, and South Asia on the channel, so do subscribe. Again, don't forget, thumbs up, comment, and share. Peace, love, and safe travels from the capital city, Hanoi, Vietnam. This is John Sabo.